Namaskar. This is Ranjana from BBA Third Sem, here to give a presentation on the book Ladder to Happiness. All folks want to be happy. The planet makes us believe that the vast material desire will make us happy. Does one thing this will? However, this won't make us happy. This makes us more and more frustrated. Why? Because material desires are unstable and are innumerable. There is one thing that everybody is seeking for, that is happiness. It is not that people don't find, they do find happiness, but it does not stay for too long. It may be for a momentary or for a couple of hours or maybe for 2 or 3 days. But the tendency of the spirit is to find the everlasting happiness, and happiness never turns bitter. So now, what is happiness? What exactly it means? How can you define happiness? If I ask this question directly, many people will stuck and will think of it, and some people don't even have the answer. So the general definition of happiness is to be joyful, and it is of well-being and contentment. The fact is that happiness is the ultimate goal of life, and it is the main objective of life too. And nobody wants to be miserable. But unfortunately, most people, instead of trying to find why they are not able to find such state of happiness or the state of experiencing that pleasure, they will think that by doing something and trying something harder, they can find it. But at one sort of time, that experience may give them a pleasure or they may experience, but at the same time it can be an hellish experience too. And now if I ask you a question, how often are you happy, or how much time can you be happy, or what was the last time when you were happy, people will be like, they again get into the thought and keep on thinking of when they were, and they'll again stuck in that moment. Now if I could help them by answering at least 15 minutes a day, can you find that state of pleasure? Their answer, okay, to an extent or to some sort I can experience that 15 minutes of happiness or pleasure state in a day. We have 1440 minutes a day, and people experience only 15 minutes of state of pleasure in a day. It's like an analytical sort. Every living creature wants to be happy, and to be happy, people seek something or the other, like power, authority, and earning money, something like that. But when they get that, they are not happy, or they never experience that, because happiness is short-lived. A child thinks he can be happy once he is grown up, or when he goes to college. But when he goes to college, he thinks he can be happy when he starts earning. But after earning, he thinks when he gets married, he will be happy. And this goes on. But he will never understand or feel that state of happiness, and that day never comes. You postpone your happiness until some perfect day in the future will come, but that day never arrives. It's like making a bed all night but having no time to sleep. Creation wants to see you happy, yet you keep on going, postponing your happiness. In this world, there is always a play of positive and negative. Some problems come, some challenges come, and even the solution also follow them. In ancient time, people would simply focus on keeping their energy high. If your energy is high, then you not only can manage your life but also help other people to solve their problems. This joy and happiness comes in different forms. Each one of us has abundant joy within us, yet we are looking for it in the external world. Just remember when we were kids what we used to do. We used to shout, play, and enjoy. Every child is nothing but a bundle of joy. But as we grow up somewhere, we lost that joy. A child smiles 400 times a day, but when a child grows up and becomes adolescent, he smiles only 17 times a day. And when he grows up as an adult, he smiles occasionally, and that too when someone else smiles. This whole question is, how do we even reverse this? How do we even get back to the innocence we were born with? And this is a quest. The most important thing from this book is that the view of Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna sees about it. So I would like to read the shloka from the 5th chapter, 21st verse, and here it goes. Bahyasparshe shvasaktaktam vindaptyatmani yatsukam sa brahmayoga yuktatmam sukama akshaya masnute. So this means such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure but is always entranced, enjoying the pleasure which is within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness for what he concentrates on the Supreme. So in this verse, we are being told that we need to direct the search for happiness actually inward rather than the outer world, the world in which we find ourselves. It has to become an internal quest where we are actually in touch with our true identity. The Bhagavad Gita actually really looks at the subject of happiness in some detail. In the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the principal personalities, his name was Arjuna, he was a great warrior prince and he was about to participate in the huge battle. It dawned on him in this particular battle that he was about to enter, and it suddenly dawned him on that in the opposing army as his grandfather, who is honored, who is actually a very saintly person, a very elevated yogi, as well as a great warrior. His cousins, who are in the Vedic system, are considered as brothers, brother-in-laws, father-in-laws. He just saw all the mixture of relatives that he was going to face on the battle and kill, and he became very overwhelmed and he was considering, how will I be able to live? How will I find happiness or anything of value in my life if I must now live at the cost of others' life? And he became so overwhelmed that he totally lost his composure. He was breaking down. So in many ways, Bhagavad Gita begins with and actually ends with the subject matter of happiness and where and how to find it. The actual things we are trying to find is within our hearts of hearts, which may be achieved but would require some change in our thinking and searching perspective at the things, and that's where the life goes. And this book specially deals with all these things and have some of the importance about how to deal with these things. And it includes how to be happy, the 3 levels of happiness, that is sattvic, rajasic and tamasic, and how it works. To know more about that, we need some steps to increase our happiness. So it includes the steps to happiness and the reasons also. We can't be happy for the reasons for happiness we can find, and also for the unhappiness also we need to have some reasons. So this also deals with the causes of unhappiness, and just by being happy doesn't mean the life. We also need to make others happy. So this also deals with how to be happy and also make others happy. And last but not the least, what's the inner meaning of the word happiness? What's in what respect the happiness is treated? This can be found from the verse Bhagavad Gita from Sri Krishna. So, Krishna's views about happiness and what exactly happiness in the sense of Bhagavad Gita. I hope you all read this book and will be happy. Thank you. Namah Shivaya.